All right, so here we are for the beginning of Unit 2. Unit 2 is called Rigid Motions, and so we're going to be looking at, in particular, three rigid motions. We're going to be looking at translation, we're going to be looking at reflection, we're going to be looking at rotation, and yeah, you already have some idea of what those are like, and so that's good to know. Let's be very specific about how we define rigid motions. Rigid motions are transformations that preserve, which means keep the same, side length, and angle measure. So you'll notice, you guys probably know four transformations altogether. You'll notice which one is missing from the list. We've got translation, reflection, rotation. Which one is missing? Dilation. You got it. Now, why is dilation missing? Because when you dilate an object, that does not preserve side length. Now, we are going to talk about dilations, but it's going to be later in the course in its own, in a totally separate unit, because it's not a rigid motion. Okay, so let's talk about the rigid motions that we do have here. We have translation, reflection, and rotation. I don't want to get deep into this, but I do want to let's just sort of talk very briefly about each one of these. So translation is the one that you know as a slide. Okay, so that would be an example of that would be like you take the letter R and you move it somewhere else, but it stays looking exactly the same as the one before. It doesn't really change. That's going to be your translation. Reflection. Reflection is the one that flips things. So if we have R, we have a line of reflection, and then so kind of like a mirror. Okay, that's kind of poorly drawn. Work on that a little bit. Anyway, it's a little better. Okay, so translation is slide, reflection is flip, and the one that we're going to focus on in this lesson is the rotation, which means to turn. And so with that, we have the letter R, and maybe we turn it, and so maybe we get something that looks like this. Okay, but generally speaking, so that's not exact, but generally speaking, these are the three transformations that we're going to look at. Now, one thing, not only is with rigid motions, we already talked about two properties. We talked about side length and we talked about angle measure. There is a third property that we need to talk about, and it's called orientation. Orientation is the order of the vertices. And we need to know, out of three rigid motions, only two of them preserve orientation. The other one doesn't. And we need to know what those are. So let's talk quickly about what orientation is, and then we're going to actually dive into rotations themselves. So here's orientation. I want you to notice that with this first triangle right here, you can start at any vertex you want, and you can go any direction you want. You can go counterclockwise or clockwise, totally your choice. So I'm going to start at A, and I'm going to go clockwise. So if I start at A and go clockwise, then the order in which I see the vertices is A, then B, then C. Now, if I look at these other ones, you start at the same vertice, go the same direction, and see what happens. So notice if I go here, if I start at A and I still go clockwise, I still get A, then B, then C. So in this case, orientation is preserved. Meaning the orientation is the same. As compared to over here, if I start at A and go clockwise, then what's going to happen is I'm going to get A, then C, then B. The vertices are in a different order. So here we would say that orientation is not preserved. Okay, so We have side length, angle measure, orientation. Those are the three properties that we want to look at when we're looking at these motions. So let's focus in on rotations. So the first thing that I want to talk about with rotations is I want to talk about notation. So what you see here is you see a giant R, capital R. That is the symbol for rotation. And then we have these two subscripts. The subscripts, these are what I call together, these are what I call parameters. And the reason why is because when you give a rotation, I need to know for this one, I need to know two things. I need to know the degrees of rotation, how far you want me to turn it, and what direction. And then the other thing I need to know is I need to know the center of rotation. Am I turning the object on itself, or am I turning it around? Is it orbiting some other point? So I need to know the center of rotation. Now, one more note about the degrees of rotation. It's important to note that there are two different directions that we could go. Positive degrees means counterclockwise, and a negative degree measure means clockwise. So if I tell you to go positive 90 degrees, then we're moving in this direction, counterclockwise. And if I tell you to go negative 90 degrees, then we're going to go the opposite direction, clockwise. So positive is counterclockwise and negative is clockwise. So now you know the notation, you know the two parameters. We're always going to have parameters. The only time that you wouldn't have the center is sometimes you're given a rotation without a degree, without the center. That means that the center is the origin. If you're not given the center, then that means you can assume that the center is the origin. And that would only happen if we were on the coordinate plane, which sometimes we will be and sometimes we won't. Notice that the first example is actually going to be off the coordinate plane. Now, one last thing before I send you to go practice. Is orientation preserved? If I were to draw an object here, say for example I were to draw a triangle, and I'm going to label it ABC. If I were to rotate that 180 degrees, so I'm going to rotate this triangle, I'm going to go in the clockwise direction 180 degrees. I'm going to get a picture that looks like this, where A is going to move around to the bottom. So here's going to be so this is called my pre-image. This is the original, and this is my image. Pre-image, image. B is going to run around from here. It's going to come around to the other side. So here is going to be my B prime, and this is going to be my C prime. Let's check orientation. If I start at A and I go clockwise, A, B, C. If I start at A prime and go clockwise, A prime, B prime, C prime. So what does that mean? That means that with rotations, orientation is preserved. Okay, so with rotations, orientation is preserved. Okay, now you can go and practice. I've got one video per example, so you can kind of work your way through it at your own pace, and then you've got some practice to do.